I don't want to call it mediocre talent because you're in the NFL for a reason. Mm-hmm. But for average talent, they've done such a superb job of keeping them there.
Yeah, definitely agree. And then I mean, do you think Tom got a few more years left for him after this, or I mean, how many?
I think years? 2.
About 2 years.
I think 2 or 3 more years. I think it all hinges on how long Belichick wants to coach. Mm-hmm. Some more still. I think that's what it hinges on. It's much. To me, the dynamic of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick reminds me of the dynamic of Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
It reminds me, if you think one of them goes, the other one's going to go too. So that their dynamic almost, they mirror each other. Even the teams mirror each other.
They do.
Even the teams kind of mirror each other.
They do. Totally agree. Now, talking about the wide receiver core, which one do you take? Because they're similar. They're similar, basically, I want to say. You got Edelman, LaFell, just name a couple, then you got Amendola.
Yep. And then you got Curse, Baldwin, and really Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
They're eerily similar, but the thing is you can't just take the wide receiver group, you have to take the tight ends and put them in there as well. Mm-hmm. And there's none better right now than Rob Gronkowski. And he's the one that puts you over the edge in any debate. I know Luke Wilson's came on the last couple of weeks, but he's been hurt. Zach Miller would have been huge for him to have right now, but he got hurt early in the year. But Gronk is the one that makes it unanimous to go to one side.
Yeah, Gronkowski having a fantastic year.
I know. I had him on my fantasy team.
Had 1,000 yards, 124.
You'd him a year every time he's 19 catches of 20-plus yards for a dude that large.
Impressive, huh?
Yards after the catch. 475 yards after the catch.
So this is a solid dude. Even their receivers, like Edelman almost had 1,000. Mm-hmm. LaFell almost had 1,000, 972 and 953 respectively. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they contributed as well as far
Brandon
as
LaFell done all that before I picked him up. Then when I picked him up, he just...
Did that.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing after that.
On the flip side, you got Doug Baldwin, which pretty much be catapulted to number one option after Percy
Harvin got traded.
So he had 825 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And no one blast off on this list. Yeah. It's just the different ways that they do things.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, even you got Jermaine Curtis 537, and Marshawn Lynch was right behind him with almost 400 at 367.
That one little play.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Look at this though. He had 367 yards. And yard
after contact.
373. So he had more than the 367 that he caught because a couple of them were behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But this is retarded. That he had almost all of his yards came after the contact.
Just a hard man to tackle, man.
It's retarded.
That's why I say you look at this wide receiver core, and I will take the Patriots because, like you said, Gronk opened up the field for them where they can go ahead and run the under routes and get open. And Edelman does so much, even on special teams too. So he's a contributing factor everywhere around the field. I know Doug Baldwin is kind of just there. They're more of a
they're average guys, but they're good blockers on the edge is what they are. They're really good blockers for the edge.
Right. Talk to me about, again, I know we talk about Rob, but Marshawn Lynch on the other side of the ball is for the Seattle Seahawks. He just is a does it all type of guy, right?
By far one of my favorite players in the NFL. If you told me you wanted a guy that you wanted to put on your team that meets your needs, well, who would you want? I'd be like, give me him. All day long, I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
He's by far one of my favorite players to watch in this league. The things he does on a football field when he gets into that mode it's ridiculous.
Marshawn Lynch, 1,306 yards,
and he
13 touchdowns.
So well in helping me win the championship.
He's got to rub it in. At seven plus carries, 20 yards or more. I mean, on 280 rushes attempts, this guy is just the physicality that he brings in this position.
You feel it when he's running. Mm-hmm. When he hits you're sitting at home and you still feel it. It's like he runs mad. He runs just mad the whole entire time that he's out there running the ball.
How physical both? I mean, we talk about Rob and Marshawn. These are two of the most physical guys.
These are two at their position. These are two of the most physical guys. You can add LeGarrette Blount for the Patriots is another big physical guy running the football. DeMarco Murray, another guy that's just a big physical running back. But these two guys are probably the most physical guys at their position.
I agree, man. So that's why I say with these two are definitely, they're always going to play a big part of this game. And, you know, whichever one has more success than the other is going to lean in which favor what team is going to win.
Oh, yeah.
But I tell you what, man, it was just impressive to see these guys because everybody for a while, and we said on the podcast, we're talking about Jimmy Graham, Julius Thomas, Rob Gronkowski now.
No, Jimmy Graham is I don't even put him as a tight end. I put him as he's a wide receiver. To me, he's not physical enough to be a tight end. The way they use him in New Orleans and everything, he's a wide receiver. I don't call him a tight end. Yeah. But Rob, he's a tight end.
And the fact that he's doing this because, you know, you had Aaron Hernandez on the side of the ball before he got his.
Imagine if they would steal together. Because Aaron Hernandez was catching 10 touchdowns a game, too. And Aaron Hernandez was a completely different type. Aaron Hernandez was Jimmy Graham on this team when he was there.
Yeah.
And Rob was Rob. Now, it's just amazing the things that big human being does.
It is. And to be that physical and that fast. And his personality is one of the best, man. So
yeah, he's a funny dude.
He's a funny dude. So is Marshawn Lynch, but we'll get into him later.
Marshawn Lynch is amazing. I'm sorry. Y'all can hate him. People hate him. I love him. And I think he's the fresh air that the NFL does need. Mm-hmm. I think they need more guys like Richard Sherman and him and all these other guys that are on Seattle. Yeah. People hate Seattle now because they run their mouth too much. Well, they kind of back it up. So that's the kind of people I like. Yeah. If you're going to run your mouth, make sure you're running your mouth and you can back it up. Don't run your mouth and get blowed out.
That's true.
Run your mouth and back it up.
Yeah.
And I've yet to see a time where they run their mouth and not backed it up.
I 1% agree here. All right, who's your factor on offense for either team? You can just choose one that you think that need to get them over the top, or someone that you need to key on.
The guy from Seattle that I'm predicting he's going to end up doing well in it is, well, we know he's the quarterback, but Russell Wilson is the guy that I'm keying on because if he's able to get the edge on some of these runs, and he's the guy I'm looking out for.
Gotcha.
And then on the other side, it's LeGarrette Blount. Mm-hmm. I want to see if LeGarrette Blount's able to get, because Seattle's weakness on defense is in the middle. Mm-hmm. They're not very stout in the middle of their defense. And if he's able to get a little running game going, then it is definitely going to benefit the Patriots a lot.
Right. For me, it's going to be Julian Edelman. Because if Gronkowski can at least open up a little bit of space for him, he's got to do his part and actually keep them honest as well. Yep. And the flats, and his speed is pretty quick. So, I mean, this is a fast Seattle defense. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he play a part of that. But if he can sneak by them and at least have a big game as far as, like, even probably about, like, 80 yards, even catching that, it'd be pretty successful
for him.
Them
little slip screens are going to be the key to him.
Exactly. For Seattle, I think it's going to be Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin somehow does not get enough credit. I mean, we look at his yards, and yes, he's not getting the most yards, but he is still pretty crafty, and he can catch the ball pretty well, even though his stats not showing that because that's not the type of...
He returns the punts as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not... They're just running a different type of offense.
Yeah, it's scared to look at your receivers and stuff like that and certain things.
But Doug Baldwin is someone to keep eye on because he took this role when Percy got traded and has done pretty well in it. So those are my two S factors on there.
Good choice.
All right. As far as coaching, who you got as far as edge and coaching?
Oh.
And this is good because you got one up and coming. You got one that's been there.
It's hard. Well, they both been there, but they both have won championships. Pete Carroll trying to become the first coach to win multiple championships in both college and in the NFL. And then you have the long-standing guy that can scheme upon scheme upon scheme to go at your weakness in Bill Belichick. Right now, I have to go with Belichick, just because he's been there before, many other times than Pete Carroll has, and I just go with him because he always seems to find that one niche in the other team that he can always exploit. Against Baltimore, it was running people in and out, or putting people eligible, and them not paying attention. They were able to use that to their advantage. It's going after one certain guy who he knows maybe has a kink in his neck or something. He just seems to know where to go, and he just seems to find that distinct advantage that he can always go and look at. Plus, you always look at a guy that's good on one end of the ball, on one side of the ball where his specialty is, and that's defense. Mm-hmm. But he's one of the only coaches that he cares about all sides of the ball. And that's why I put him as the edging coach. But Pete Carroll is right there with him as well, because Pete Carroll stresses a lot on special teams. He wants a special team to be right there with it. And he, like I said, on one side you got the calm dude, the other side you got the dude that ain't afraid to yell at you.
Yeah.
So, but it's a slight edge to Bill Belichick.
Gotcha. Yeah, for all the statements that you said, I agree. Belichick is going to be up there.
I took all your...
You did. You took all the thunder. So I'm just going to echo Kevin's statement there, and we'll just move on, because Kevin hit it with the nail in the coffin there, so I got nothing to add to that wonderful statement. It is close because Pete Carroll is, I know he's been coaching for a while, but he's having success early on in the NFL with this Seahawks, and it's pretty darn impressive what he has done with this team. And now he has also acquired a talent that you didn't think of that would be successful, and now he's turned these as players that you think would be outcasts into pretty darn good football players.
Well, he plus he's got the QB that matches him.
Yeah,
he's got the QB that matches him. Years ago, we thought Matt Flynn was going to be their quarterback.
We did. I thought
Matt Flynn was going to be their quarterback, and then Russell Wilson played so well because Matt Flynn got injured. He played so well during the preseason, you could not play. And on the other side, you got Tom Brady, who got put into the game because Drew Bledsoe hurt himself. So once he got in there, you found the quarterback that met your niche. But with Belichick, though, like I said before, you could put a lot of quarterbacks in that system, and I think they would succeed very well. And I think they would be in the same position that they would be in right now. Heck, you had Matt Castle take them to a 12-4 record.
Yeah.
The year that Tom Brady went out. So it's one of those things. But don't get me. Don't think I'm knocking Tom Brady, because I'm not.
No.
But that just goes to show how good of a coach Bill Belichick is.
Oh, definitely.
Plus the guys that have come from the Bill Belichick coaching tree.
Yes.
It's been insane.
All right.
Even though Pete Carroll's coaching tree is expanding beyond belief right now, too. He's about to have two guys as head coaches. Well, he's got one in Gus, and then he's going to, Dan Quinn, former Florida assistant coach, is probably going to be the coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Huh. He's going to be the head coach. The reason why the Atlanta Falcons haven't hired anyone yet, because they're waiting.
Nice.
Yeah, but don't worry. After the Super Bowl, you hear Dan Quinn is the coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
All right. We will make our picks after word association. We will make you wait a little bit longer and talk a little bit more football and talk a little bit around the NBA, and then we'll go ahead and do our picks and everything like that. So, word association. You just pick one word to describe a statement. Marshawn Lynch versus the media. I'm here because I won't get fined. You know why I'm here. Give me one word to describe Marshawn Lynch versus the media.
Stupid. It's funny, but it's just stupid that they're making such a big deal out of it.
Right. It's humorous. I just laugh because the media...
But then you still sat there for 15 minutes waiting on him, and you knew he wasn't going to answer a damn question. Just leave the man alone and go away. The best one was the little kid asking him the question. And he kind of looks at the little kid. He's like, damn, I want to answer the little kid's question, but